What's up everybody, my name's Chance and today we're going to be playing a Simic Turbo land deck. That's a mouthful. Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of like land-based decks, and I kept wondering why, and I got into a draft game the other day, and I ended up picking up this card, Tatiova Bethnic Druid. Nonetheless, whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 1 life and draw a card. So I figured, you know what, let's try and make a land based off her, and this card right here, Sylvan Awakening. Sorry, my English isn't very good today. Until your next turn, all lands you control become 2/2 elemental creatures with reach, indestructible, and haste. And they're still lands, so if you need to use them to cast something, you can, of course. But yeah, this basically turns every land you have into a creature. So essentially, we're just trying to overpower them with lands and then attack all out with Sylvan Awakening. So this is essentially a ramp deck, and the fact that we're getting out a lot of lands and we can play a lot of higher cost creatures, a lot of higher cost things, sort of like kickers, very easily. So we're going to get right into the deck breakdown, sort of the deck tech, and then we'll of course play our games. And this actually is not the right deck. I've been playing around with 2 of them, so this is the one. Had to name it so I knew, of course, which one was which. So right back into it on the deck breakdown on the right deck this time. Starting out, we have 2 Enter the Unknowns. Target creature you control explores. Obviously this helps you get through some of your lands in your deck. You may play an additional land this turn as well. So for those of you who aren't familiar with the Explore ability, basically whenever you explore, if you draw a land, like if the top card in your library is a land, then you draw it into your hand. And if it's anything else, a spell or a creature, whatever it may be, then your target creature gets +1/+1 counter on it, and you can either put it in your graveyard or you can leave it there. It does reveal it to the opponent, so that's probably the only downfall of it, but still pretty good with the deck. And this card also allows you to play an additional land, so if you've already played one this turn, play this card and you draw another land from the Explorer, then you can go ahead and throw it down as well. Moving on, Shaper's Sanctuary. This is a card that actually you might want to add more than one of in if you have more, but it is a rare card, so a little bit costly there, but it is really good. Whenever a creature you control becomes the target of a spell or ability, which is going to happen, they're going to try and remove some of your creatures naturally, you may draw a card, and for only 1 mana cost, you really can't beat that. Moving on, we have 3 Merfolk Branchwalkers. Now, if you typed in the Game Awards code, then you got 4 copies of this card for free, so of course throw it in the deck. Sorry, and once again, the Explorers really helps you get through the land, and having to Enter the Unknown, you can play those lands you get from Merfolk Branchwalker. So moving on, we have 2 Wildgrowth Walkers. This sort of allows there to be a mini synergy within this deck, so we're playing for lands, obviously, and Explore obviously helps us get to those lands and get them out. And Wildgrowth Walker benefits from that Explore, as well as giving us 3 life per Explore. So you really, I find it hard to beat that. The 3 life for every single Explorer, and like so many cards we already have are going to be exploring anyways. It really helps keep you beefed up, because part of the sort of the drawback to this deck is the early game. So if you can stay healed up and all that, then you'll be doing well. Also, this card is actually a card that I haven't really used too much, but I've been trying it out and it seems to work pretty well as an anti-aggro card. So if a land is tapped for 2 or more mana, it produces energy instead, just blank energy, instead of any other type and amount. So that's kind of cool already. So they can't use like they're really only in green decks where they ramp up 1 land specifically, but this cancels out all of those effects, as well as each spell a player casts costs 1 more to cast for each other spell you've already cast. So say I cast a Merfolk Branchwalker for 2 mana. Then the next time I go to cast a Merfolk Branchwalker in this turn, it'll be 3 mana. Say I had 2 in hand. So this sort of slows down aggro decks as it makes their cards cost more, and a lot of them don't play the mana to keep up with those costs. So pretty good at anti-aggro, and for only 2 mana, and really you're gonna have plenty of land to spend like on your cards anyways, as we are running I think 28 lands in this deck, so you shouldn't have to worry about it. But it'll slow your opponents down and obviously won't affect you too much. Moving on, we have 3 Elvish Rejuvenators. Obviously this is just another card to get lands out. He's a good sacrifice creature as well, like he can block or defend and us not really worry about losing him, so pretty good card there. 3 Grow from the Ashes. This allows us to put either 1 land out untapped or put out 2 if we end up kicking it. So really good bonus effect on top of the Bethnic Druid. So just more synergies going with the whole land concept here. Trying to get them out fast as you can. Jadelight Ranger, honestly, if you have more copies, by all means add her, but again, she's rare. You do get 1 copy from the Jungle Secrets deck that the game gives you, so again, another card to throw in for free. Krosan Druid, this card's in the deck to keep you healed. That's pretty much it. If you have to cast it out because you just need a creature out to defend, and you know you're not going to get the mana in time, that's fine, because you do have somewhere. Oh yeah, we have the Mending of Dominaria, which basically returns turns creatures to our hands and returns all of our graveyard to our library. So if you can't get it out absolutely, then sure, cast it down as just a creature to defend with. But past that, you want to sort of be saving up for that 8 mana so you can kick it and gain the 10 life, because 10 life, that's a lot to deal with unless your opponent's just smacking the shit out of you, in which case you're probably not going to have the 8 mana anyways. Like, you're probably already at the end of your line if you can't get to that. So moving on, Ranging Raptors. I think this is a really slept on card. Now, it's in a lot of dinosaur decks, I know, but as far as a ramp card goes, this card's pretty good, and he adds a lot of like threat to the board, right? Because your opponents don't want to attack and give you a free land because they know you're trying to ramp. As soon as they see this card, you know, whether it's in a dinosaur deck or not, they should be able to understand that you're trying to ramp. So they don't want to attack it because that helps you. And obviously with the 3 health and the 2 damage, it has a little bit beefier stats and can still deal out enough to deal with most 2 and 1 cost creatures, as well as getting the benefit from the Enrage. So just some more ways to ramp us up, as well as giving us some defenders. Sylvan Awakening, I already explained this card. Moving on, we do have 2 sleeps. This is to either not board wipe, but essentially it's a 2-turn board wipe, as it taps every creature your opponent controls. Excuse me, I had a burp. And they don't untap on your opponent's untap step either, so they stay tapped for 2 turns. Gives you a little bit of breather room, as well as if you have lethal damage down and yet they have too many creatures, just sleep them, and then you can attack unblocked without any worries. So moving on, we have okay, we have Root. I know it's supposed to be circular, but nonetheless, this is just more ramp. Search your library for up to 2 basic land cards and or gates. We don't have any gates in this deck because it's blue-green, and I don't think the blue-green Simic house or whatever, the guild house, whatever, got a place in Ravnica. So moving on, we have 2 Path of Discoveries, helping with our sort of explore underlying synergy there. World Shaper is actually a really good card, and as well, you know, if you have more of these, put it in. If you don't, I'm sure you can find ways around it. Nonetheless, World Shaper, whenever it attacks, you can put the top 3 cards of your library into your graveyard, so this can help you get through your deck. And then as well, whenever he dies, you put all lands from your graveyard onto the battlefield tapped. So just a good ramp card, and you can kill them off pretty easily. Most people don't pay attention to the whole, like, how many lands are actually in your graveyard and all that. So The Mending of Dominaria, I've sort of already talked about this, but in the first 2 steps of this saga, basically you put the top 2 cards of your library into your graveyard, and you can turn a creature from your graveyard to your hand, so already pretty beneficial there. And then on its 3rd step, return all land cards to the battlefield and all other cards to your library. So, and it gets a shuffle, so if you've managed to scry at the beginning and put a card you didn't really want to on the bottom, you know, it does shuffle your deck around for you. Moving on, we have one Vivienne Reed. Again, she helps you look through to either get out the creatures you need or the land you need. She's great at destroying flying, artifacts, enchantments, all that good stuff. And then on top of that, if you can manage to get her emblem out, whenever you transform your lands, they become 4/4s with trample, with vigilance. Well, the vigilance, I guess it does matter, because then you can attack and still block with them against your opponent. So, nonetheless, Vivienne just complements everything in this deck really, really well. Moving on, I've already talked about Tatiyova. Really good card in my opinion. We have 2 Inbolas Clutches, so sometimes your opponents get out these monstrous creatures, and your small ones that you have to defend early game aren't going to do it, and you don't have enough land yet to sort of rush in. So Inbolas Clutches just sort of allows you to take control of one of their creatures, make it your own, and to where you don't have to really worry about that. River's Rebuke, you can turn all their cards to their hand. Basically, it works on enchantments, planeswalkers, creatures, all that. You return it all to the hand, so it works sort of in a 2-fold effect. If they have too many cards in hand and you return all their cards that they have on the field to their hand as well, then they're going to end up discarding like 3 or 4 cards, as well as it clearing the board, so you don't have to worry about the threats of whatever may have been out. Moving on, Multani works really good in this deck as you're playing, you know, a bunch of lands, so naturally Multani benefits from that. For those of you who don't know what this card does, it gets +1/+1 for every land you have either in your graveyard or on the battlefield. And basically whenever he's sent to the graveyard, you can pay 2 land and return them to your hand, and you also return those land to your hand. So actually pretty good effect there. He does have reach and trample as well, so good defender as well. Verdant Force, this card doesn't have like huge synergy with the deck. It's not like, wow, this just brings it all together. But what it does is it gives you a 7/7, which is already pretty good there, and then as well as a bunch of 1/1 green supportlings to defend with. Obviously, you're already going to be ramping pretty hard on the land, so getting to 8 land, like, you're looking to get to 8 land anyways, just so you can play Crowsand Druid. So 8 land for a Verdant Force really isn't that bad in this deck. 2 Entrancing Melodies, and this is right along the lines with Inbolas Clutches. They just allow us to take control of our opponent's creatures and sort of slow them down a little bit. Then we have our lands. We have 7 islands, 2 Memorial to Genius, so this gives us a little bit more card draw. 14 Forest, 1 Memorial to Unity. If you have more of these cards, go ahead and play them, and 4 Hinterland Harbors. So I know there's a lot of really high cost cards in this deck, so a lot of people won't probably be able to play this, but I just recently sort of got the cards that would make this deck work and decided I would give it a go. So nonetheless, alright, so we'll go ahead and hop into game 1, and hopefully we can pick up some wins today, and I can show you guys how fantastic this deck really is. Been having a lot of fun with it, honestly, here recently. It's won most of the games. I think I've lost twice, I know, to a Vampire Aggro. I'm wanting to say maybe one more time to something else, but past that, it's won every single game, including against aggro decks. So yeah, I've really been enjoying it, and it's not the greatest hand, but I'll keep it just because we have Grow from the Ashes, so we can sort of put out some more lands down, get us close to what we're trying to cast here. One thing about this deck is usually you don't get anything to play turn 1, turn 2. unless you unless you get a Wildgrowth Walker or a Merfolk Branchwalker. You guys know the card I'm talking about. Unless you get one of those two cards, most hands you're not going to be playing anything turn 1, turn 2. That's alright. Like I said, some aggro decks turn 1, turn 2, if they manage to get out underneath you within those turns, obviously you're going to have some trouble. But for the most part you should be alright. So we are up to 4 lands now. One more and we'll be able to throw out Grow from the Ashes with the kicker effect on it. That's actually exactly what we needed. We're not going to use it this turn actually. There's his Johnny's Pride Mate. It's going to go ahead and go up 2 on the counter. But the great thing is we can actually take control of it this turn if we want to. I think I'm just going to play one of the Grow from the Ashes though. We'll just get out 1 island since we don't have any out yet. And we'll take the 4 damage from him. This puts us up to what, 6 lands? And I'll use Entrancing Melody to take over Johnny's. Zimbalost's Clutches is essentially Entrancing Melody. Yeah, now the Johnny's at a 6/6, so definitely worth stealing now. 1, 2. And this next turn we can play a kick to Grow from the Ashes, put us up to 8 land, which will give us enough for the Crowsand Druid kicker, which will put it back up to 24 health. Sorry, 23 health. So yeah, we'll go ahead and kick this. And why not put out 2 more islands, just to make it an even set on both. And we can actually go ahead and play the Branchwalker. And we drew another land, so we can put that out as well. And yeah, we're already looking pretty spicy with our lands, sitting at 9 lands while our opponent's at 2. Granted, his Johnny's Welcomes and his Healer Hawks are annoying. We should be able to deal with them fairly easily. So yeah, we'll kick out the Crowsand Druid, and honestly, we have what, 8, 10 lands. Yeah, we'll take the action here. And we can swing in with the Pride Mate. We have 10 lands and we have 3 creatures. So if we play Sylvan Awakening, we'll still have 10 attackers. I think that might be... That's not going to be enough life to proc Resplendent. That's unfortunate. He's 1 off. And actually we can take control of Resplendent if we wanna. Let's see. He only has 1 defender and 19 health. That'll give us 7 extra attackers. So say he blocks the Ajani 7 times... No, 9 times 2 is 18, so we would be off 1. We'd be off 1 if we play Sylvan's Awakening. That's unfortunate. Also unfortunate for him, we're just going to steal the Resplendent Angel, because I don't really like the idea of him having that. And we'll play Dampening Sphere. It's already going to be really hard for him to play any cards anyways, much less throwing that out. And now next turn we should have it no matter what with our Awakening. So yeah, our opponent's got 3 lands and we're up to 10. Thank goodness we didn't leave Resplendent Angel on his side. He would have had his angel created. There goes the concede. I guess he finally realized he's not getting control back of his angel. So game 1 actually fairly quick for how this deck tends to play out, but happy nonetheless with that victory. And you guys sort of saw there the power of just keeping yourself healed up, taking your opponent's champions, and just sort of stalling out the game until you get up enough for the Awakening. Because even if he had it conceded that turn, we would have killed him next turn. So nonetheless, on to game number 2, and looking for the same results. Now, like I said, this deck has been winning a lot for me. So, I'm very questioning it on this, but I think we do take it just because if we can draw. Okay, I was gonna say if we can draw one more land, then we can play Elvish Rejuvenator into the Circus route into the Vivienne, and so we actually do have a curve out with our mana here. There's another Elvish Rejuvenator. Unfortunately, we won't be able to play anything this turn, but that is nice to see. And a Vivienne would be good to get out. Really good. Help us get through to our Tatiova hopefully a little bit quicker. Yeah, we'll go Elvish Druid this turn. And he can murder after it comes out if he wants. We're going to put out the Memorial to Unity. Obviously, it's a little bit better if we put a land that's already going to enter tapped out as a tapped land. So, unfortunately, we don't have any islands yet. So, River's Rebuke, we couldn't really use it even if we wanted to. I'm not going to block here. Just because the 1 damage is fine, and I'd rather keep the Elvish Rejuvenator to block more than 1 damage, if at all possible. So what we're going to do here is play Elvish Rejuvenator, and next turn we'll play Tatiova, and then we'll start ramping the hell out of ourselves with Grow from the Ashes, Circus, or Circuitous, the route. We'll start doing the route. There's the blue mana we needed actually to cast Tatiova, so that's really good. We're not going to attack here either. So yeah, this hand's playing out pretty well, if I do have to say so myself. Bone Dragon's going to be a little bit annoying, but not impossible to deal with. Yeah, I'm going to block one of them out. I don't want to go down too low, not being able to deal with the Bone Dragon, so we'll go with Tatiova this turn. And unfortunately we didn't draw a land to play with her, so she doesn't get any immediate bonus, and hopefully she won't get murdered out right off the bat. Because obviously that would be unfortunate. Or she does, and you know, it is. But nonetheless, if we can draw Mending of Dominaria, we can get her back out onto the field, so I'm not too worried about that, and we do still have a copy in our deck. We're going to block out the skeleton again. And now we should be a little bit worried about our... Well, we can go in River's Rebuke, makes him return everything, so I'll just have to play Bone Dragon again next turn. Or we can play a Vivienne and just kill the Bone Dragon. I think that's probably the better play, honestly. Because even if we do that and we kill the Bone Dragon next turn, he still can't kill us with just his 1 skeleton, so... Let's get rid of the Bone Dragon. If he wants to exile the fucking 7 cards and repay to get it out, then we'll River's Rebuke. But, okay, Vraska's Contempt works as well, I guess. You just got a copy of that lying around. What is that, 7? So we're one land away from being able to cast our Druid with the kick, which is good because that'll put us back up to 21 health. And we'll get out 2 islands here. And actually we'll go ahead and play the route as well and get out 2 more. Yeah, probably just 2 more islands. So, all the way up to 11 mana now. And River's Rebuke isn't looking so costly. Of course, we'll save it. Next turn, we'll get out the Druid and probably enter the Unknown on it as well. Ooh, Rite of Bells unlocked. That's actually really good for us because the 6/6 demon that he creates doesn't get returned to hand. It just gets destroyed. So it's unfortunate for him. But yeah, that's plenty of land to toss him out with a kicker. So we'll go back up to 20 health, and it's essentially like we never lost any to begin with. So yeah, we'll enter the Unknown. And we definitely want to keep that card, as that's our ticket to winning. Especially with, what, 11 lands out, we'll have 8 extra attackers. 8 times 2 is 16, so good stuff there. And I just want to wait one more turn to River's Rebuke. Honestly, I could play Sylvan Awakening this turn, but yeah, I'm just gonna wait. Just wait on it. And there's the 6/6, so. And Eldest Reborn is actually pretty annoying here. So we'll get rid of our Druid so we don't have any blockers here. But he can only deal 4 damage, so. And we'll probably go ahead and sacrifice Morrow to Unity and try and pick us up another creature. Ooh, Verdant Force, 2 of them. So, we'll, ooh, and a Bone Dragon. So we're definitely gonna River's Rebuke this next turn. So that'll get rid of the, all the clerics and all that good stuff. He does have an Eldest Reborn still in hand, so we can't really play our Verdant Force until he plays that Eldest Reborn, as it'll just, well, that's not true. If we can play Verdant Force, it'll get out the 1/1 green Supportling, and then we can choose to sacrifice the Supportling instead of Verdant Force. So that's actually not a bad play. Not a bad play at all. There's the Bone Dragon coming back out. So yeah, I think we go Verdant Force and Branchwalker. Ranging Raptor, we don't really need it, so we can throw it in the graveyard. I'd rather have a Tatiova or another Awakening. But yeah, now if he plays the Eldest Reborn, we got the Supportling to sacrifice instead. Ravenous Chupacabra, that one we can't deal with. That one's not our choice. So he's probably going to swing in with Bone Dragon here if I had to guess about it. Yeah. Now let's see something real quick. So if we play this, we'll have, what, 8 land that become creatures that can attack. He has 1 blocker, which would definitely block the Branchwalker. So 8 times 2 is 16, plus the 1 from the Supportling. That's going to be 17 damage. He'll be down to 5. How many lands do we have in our graveyard, actually? None. I didn't think so. So World Shaper won't actually help us in that respect. I say we go ahead and play it, right? Like, we have another one in deck. It's gonna get him really fucking low. Yeah. Let's go for it. Oh, so he's not even going to kill our Branchwalker. That's a huge mistake on his part, because they all have indestructible, so he's not going to stop them no matter what. Now he's down to 2 health. He can't even attack with his Bone Dragon once we get our World Shaper out. Ritual of the Soot, that's unfortunate. They're indestructible. And he wasted a cast down too. Wow. He really doesn't know what indestructible means. They'll go back to being lands this turn, so we'll throw down World Shaper, and now he really can't attack with his dragon. But if he gets down another creature, which he does have enough for the skeletons, unfortunately we can't attack through, so we're sort of in this sticky situation here. Eldest Reborn does come down. That's fine. And a skeleton. Okay, so we had 1 land. We had the Morrow to Unity, so that's actually fine. Mending of Dominaria, yeah. We can play Tatiova back, and then play the island to gain health. Or we can play Verdant Force. Or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We can play Krosan Druid. Yeah, I think we're gonna play Druid first, right? Get the health. So we'll kick him. And next turn we'll get Tatiova back. I don't have a card to discard, so joke's on you, Eldest Reborn. Ha ha. Ha. So, yeah. Let's see what he manages to scheme up here. Demon of Catastrophes is not good for us. We actually don't have a way to really deal with that, so let's see what other creature cards we got over here. Tatiova, Verdant Force, but nothing really to deal with flyers. River's Rebuke's already been used. We could use a sleep. I could really use a sleep right about now. Oh. Phyrexian Scriptures. That's going to make things difficult as well. Okay. So, we'll play the Tati over here. She's gonna get removed next turn. That's okay. We're just trying to survive here. It doesn't really matter at this point what we bring out, but nonetheless she's gonna give us 2 life and we'll draw 2. Ooh, those are good draws. So we're just gonna take the Demon of Catastrophes for ourselves. And yeah, that was a good game. So game 2 going to us as well after some very interesting and very close calls. We're still going to stay up 2-0 on our record and try for a 3-0. Alrighty, looking for our 3rd victory here. You guys got to see in the first 2 games sort of the dominance of this deck and how the healing yourself back up sort of gives you a little bit more time to really play with your opponents and build up your lands. Which is obviously the name of the game with this deck, as you want to be able to get out as many lands as possible, swing in swift and fast and take them down. Typically that's what I go for with this deck. I want to build up enough lands to where when I cast the Sylvan Awakening, I can sort of end the game with how many creatures I'm attacking alone. So, and obviously if you have 2 Awakenings in hand, that's really great, because then you know you don't need 10, 11, 12, 13 lands out. You can do it with 6 or 7, still do alright. And that's 6 or 7 attacking, so you'll need, you know, what, 9 to 9, 10, 11, something like that. This is okay. We can make this work, because we can Elvish Rejuvenator to get us to 4 lands and Path of Discovery, and then grow from the ashes. So this is actually an okay starting hand, even though we start with 0 islands and 0 island-based cards. So we're literally missing like half of our deck. It should still work out. Entrancing Melody's kind of nice. And it does appear like we're up against a Dimir deck. 2 Thoughtbound Phantasms already is not a good sign for us, but we'll go ahead and play Dampening Sphere. Should slow him down a little bit. And most turns we usually play our mana fully out with 1 or 2 cards anyways. So that's actually really good that we drew another forest. We're going to play Elvish Rejuvenator down. And get out another forest. Wow. The next turn we'll play Grow from the Ashes, get out 2 islands, and we'll be up 6 mana then. That's really good. So, again, kick out the Grow from the Ashes. 2 islands. Next turn we'll get out Tatiova. Not going to attack here. What do we have? 6? So unfortunately we can't get out Path of Discovery before Tatiova, but that's okay. Actually we probably can. We'll go and get out Path of Discovery, and we don't want to Entrancing Melody. Honestly, if we're going to, we want to wait for his Phantasms to get enough Surveil counters on them to where they can actually attack. Otherwise, we'll wait on playing that land. We want to play Tatiova before we play the land, as we get the extra benefits off of it. Yeah, we can put that in the library. That's pretty good. And we're just going to draw it up anyways, so... Still no attackers. But we'll move on, and we do have a Verdant Force in hand. And we actually have enough to cast them out. What do we want to discard here? Probably the Entrancing Melody. Because we can cast out the Druid and kick it if we really wanted to. But I think we're just going to go with Verdant Force here. Works really good with Path of Discovery. So Vivienne, yeah, we'll definitely want to keep her. And we're not going to attack. Another good thing about Verdant Force is it adds, I was about to say, it adds another murder target for our opponent. So, yeah, we're going to keep Vivienne. And if his disinformation campaign stays on the field, I'm going to destroy it with Vivienne, actually. Because I hate disinformation campaign, and it can really, really fuck you over, so... Yeah, we'll play her and then Merfolk Branchwalker. Because thanks to Dampening Spear, you know, it costs one more. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and destroy Disinformation Campaign. Do not like having that card in the opponent's hand at all. So she's actually going to get to explore twice here. And we picked up 2 lands, that's pretty good. Ooh, actually should have played the Memorial to Genius, so wasn't taking the smartest route there, but that's alright. Next turn we can Circus route. I'm just gonna call it Circus, whatever. We'll play the route card next turn and get out 2 more lands, draw 2 more cards. Kind of annoying, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, we'll go ahead and do this first so we can draw the cards. We'll put out 2 islands. We have plenty of forest as is, so we're only drawing lands. In Bolas's Clutch is great. We can take their Thief of Sanity. So yeah, we'll look at the top cards.
Meet my newest friend.
And we'll play Wildgrowth Walker this turn, actually. So he'll get the benefit from Path of Discovery on himself. And a Merfolk Branchwalker. I mean... No. I thought about it just because the Wildgrowth Walker, but honestly, like, no, we don't want that, right? And we're still going to hold on with our attacks. We could swing in, but I'm not really trying to lose any creatures just yet. We have some pretty good plans laid out for us, so he will get in 1 attack with Thief of Sanity, but unless he deals combat damage to us, he won't get the proc from its effect, so he can either attack the Vivienne or he can attack us, but he will not get the proc if he attacks Vivienne. So there's a Spy Bug. 2 Spy Bugs. Interesting, but he still can't. He still hasn't surveilled any. He's just going to attack me directly? Okay. So we can use Vivienne next turn to take out one of the Spy Bugs, but I think we're just going to Bolas's Clutch the Thief of Sanity. That might be it next turn. We'll see. We'll see what we draw from Tatiova and all that. Wonder what card he banished there. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and we'll play an island. I want to see what we draw first. Elvish Rejuvenator. Alright, so let's take control of the Thief of Sanity. Now we can get rid of the Demir Spy Bugs if we want to. We're just gonna heal her up.
Are my shield.
Jadelight Ranger. If we play the Memorial to Unity, we already have plenty of cards in hand, so we're gonna get the Jadelight and probably play her out this turn. It'll heal us up some more with the Wildgrowth Walker, and she'll explore 3 times actually. So we can probably throw that in the graveyard. We're looking for awakenings now. We have plenty of land. We have plenty of creatures. That'll work too, actually. I'll take a sleep. Now, our Wildgrowth Walker is huge. And if he wants to defend it, by all means, let him. And he's not going to, so next turn should be GG. Obviously, we're just going to sleep all of his creatures and swing in for, well, really a fuck ton of damage. Alright, so we'll play Sleep first. I want to see if he has some counterplay to it. Sinister Sabotage. Cancel. Okay. So it's not GG quite yet, but we are getting close. So we'll go ahead and play the land so we can get out another draw. And unfortunately, it's just another land. We can destroy one of the spot bugs, but then he'll probably attack with him next turn to kill Vivienne. That's a lot of land cards in hand. Gotta say, I'm not too fond of it, but we'll go ahead and play Elvish Rejuvenator. Yeah, we're going to play Elvish Rejuvenator out. And there's the concede. Obviously, his hand wasn't looking too good, so we actually went 3-0 with this deck today. And like I said, winning with this is really not hard. Just make sure to keep your life points up and focus on getting your lands out. And you sort of got to find that right balance between whether to get the lands out or keep your health up and all that. But of course, as you play, you'll get more accustomed to it. So just going back to the deck real quick, it is a 70 card deck, which I know a lot of you guys are always like, whoa, that's too many cards. But honestly, if it's 70 cards that work well together, and considering that 4 of the extra cards are lands, I think it's worth it. And it's not like we're playing a bunch of huge creatures, you know. Our deck doesn't cost too much for us having our ramp ability. So, and you guys saw it worked out fine in all 3 of those games there. So hope you guys enjoyed today. Been really fun. This is a really great deck. Honestly, I think it can still be improved even more with the right cards, and if you're willing to spend the wild cards. So again, thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and be sure to leave a like down below if you did. And comment in the comment section for any suggestions either on this deck or any other deck that you may have. And of course, subscribe if you want to see more. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.